welcome back to my channel. So I am going to do the postpartum video, but I'm getting a lot of requests from parents or mommies to be asking about the puree food that I make for our daughter. So we began introducing her to purees at 4 months, and there are special or like certain fruits and vegetables that you introduce them to at 4 months, and then you graduate them into it because of their system and the way their body can react. So always check with your pediatrician first. But I am going to do a separate video because she's now 9 months, so now she can have every single fruit or vegetable. And then we're also doing additives in her puree, so peanut butter powder, non-fat Greek yogurt, cinnamon, yogurt, regular yogurt. So I'm going to do a post video about additives and combinations and things like that. So I'm going to do a simple how we make her food. We don't do any like of the beech nut, the Gerber foods, like the jar foods. We've never given her any. For the reason being, for us, we just felt like when you really look into it, there's a lot of additives and sugars that they don't really tell you about. That's not always healthy for your baby. So I felt like for us, being able to make them fresh, we know what is in it, and she's actually getting the nutrients straight from the ingredients itself with no extra additives or preservatives. So I'm just going to show you a basic how you make a straight puree when she was 4 months old. It's really plain and simple. So all you need is you'll just need your blender. I have a NutriBullet, and I'm going to link everything below on what I use. So your NutriBullet, I'm going to get a bigger one at this point because I do everything in hauls now, so this is no longer really convenient for me. It takes much more time. The lid, veggie wash. So this is for safe removals of wax, chemicals, and soil. So you'll see, like, when you wash certain vegetables off, this gets like that wax, that film, just like the grossness off of your fruits and vegetables. And you can find this like at your local retailers. A bowl, I have a small one right now, but I normally use a really big one. A knife, I have her little baby spoon to scoop it out, you'll see why later, and her steamer. Okay, so I'm going to start with making, this bag was full. So as you can see, the bag was completely full, and they're organic Brussels sprouts. So what you'll want to do is you'll just get your Brussels sprouts out. I'm only doing a handful because I've already done 2 batches prior to this because it takes quite a bit of time. So you'll get them out, you'll put them in your bowl, and you'll use your veggie wash. You'll just spray them. If you have a large bowl full of them, you'll just want to spread them and spray them, and then you'll want to get them really, really good and just wash them, spread them all around with your hands. Make sure your hands are really clean. I washed my hands prior to this video. You'll turn on your water. And I just use my sprayer, and you start seeing the water gets really, really cloudy. And as you see, when it comes out, you're getting a lot of that wax off and those pesticides and those little nasty germs that aren't good for your baby or toddler. Okay, so I'm gonna wash, rinse them one time. Sometimes if they're still a little sooty, I feel like I haven't got them all off, I'll re-rinse them again. I'll triple rinse them sometimes. Okay, so now that that's done, I have a separate bowl here. So what they'll look like is this is the next product. So what you're going to want to do on your cutting board is just take your Brussels sprouts. And you're just going to want to cut them in half. You can cut them in 4s if you like, but for me, it just seems like the halves work best. Cut them. And some are bigger than others, as you can see, so they're a little heftier to cut. If you feel comfortable for the bigger ones, you can cut them in 4s, so that way they're easier to blend. Oh, you guys, I almost got a cut. Alrighty. Okay, so then you're going to put them all in your bowl. You can remove this. So then next, you're going to want to get your steamer. I got this off Amazon. This is the microwave steamer from Sistema Microwave. So it has the basket. So you'll just take this out, and it's wet because, like I said, I already did 2 batches. And if you're using the same fruit or vegetable, then you can just reuse it. So you'll only do just enough water at the bottom. You don't want your top piece for the water to overflow it. So if the water is coming up into the basket, that means you have too much water. So you'll have just enough water underneath the basket. You'll take your freshly washed Brussels sprouts or fruit or any other vegetable. Just put them in here. and you'll just scatter them. For Brussels sprouts, you can put them all the way up to fill the basket if you want, but you will have this like this. And then you'll put your top on. You want to make sure that it's completely sealed, and then we'll be right back. We're gonna take it to the microwave. You'll put it on for 8 minutes, 8 to 10. If you have a full basket, you'll do 10 minutes, and if you have a semi-full, you'll do 8. So we'll be right back as soon as they finish steaming. Okay, you guys, so now the Brussels sprouts have come out of the microwave. It's been 8 minutes. You want to be really careful. Make sure that your steamer has the thing up, because that lets out the steam and the fumes from when it's steaming. You want to be really careful when you open it, not to have your face directly over it, and try and be like near a sink or something like that, because it can be extremely hot depending upon what you're steaming. So you want to open each side, and I like to quickly take the top off. You can see all the steam. So this is what you have. So they're really nice, and you want to make sure that they're soft. So anything that you're pureeing, whether it is a fruit, vegetable, potatoes, you want to make sure that it's super, super soft, and so that you can make sure that it's able to be blended. So next what you'll do, you'll start with the base. I was making her bottle, so this is formula. So you're just going to put a little bit, and you can eyeball it. So I just put that much at the bottom to start with. And you'll also see when you make purees, some fruits or some vegetables are more blendable than others. So like fruits tend to be more water based, so like pineapples, strawberries, bananas, stuff like that. You don't need as much formula, but you want to make sure. And if you're breastfeeding, you want to use your breast milk instead of formula. At the 4-month mark, our pediatrician says to not put any other stuff in it, so like pear juice, pea juice, any apple juice, no juices. It was just strictly the fruit or vegetable and the breast milk or formula. And so you'll just add to it, and I don't use my hands or anything because it's super, super hot. It's literally piping hot. So I just use a fork, and you'll just add to it. Like I said, like these are super, super soft right now, but they're also a little bit harder to blend. Brussels sprouts is not one that you can use at the 4-month mark. It's 6 months plus. So I'm just showing you guys how to do it. But like bananas, apples, things like that, those are at the 4-month mark. So that's how it starts. I'm gonna add a little bit more formula on top. I'm gonna put my blender cap on. All right, we're gonna blend this up, you guys. So when it starts getting stuck like that, you guys, you'll want to break it up, and you'll want to take your cap off, and you'll want to add a little bit more formula. So see, it's really mushy. So you could technically stop here, but I like to kind of make sure it's blended all the way through and through, and I have like a corner left. So I'm just going to pour that little bit in here to try and break it up. And put it back and do another one. Alright, you guys. So now it's finally shredded. You want to try and make sure that you have all the particles out, so it's still really mushy. I just kind of like for it to stay a few seconds in the blender. But then you take your freezer tray. So I already have some in here, and some you'll be able to just pour really, really smoothly in here, and some it's gonna be a little bit messy. But once it purees out and it freezes, then you'll be okay. But some, like I found, Brussels sprouts are really, really kind of messy. But like bananas, apples, pears, they're really, really simple. You just pour it in, and it's really simple. Others you'll have to kind of guide with a spoon, so that's why I have her baby spoon. You can take an adult spoon too, but I just like to use her spoon for her stuff. And you literally just put it in here. And I do it really, really messy, and just kind of pour it, and then you can kind of go back over it and mold it into the perfect little squares. We have these are 1 ounce, and I'll link these below as well. These are 1 ounce cubes. We started all out with 1 ounce, and then as she grew, then we used the 3-ounce ones, which I will also link below. I think they're called Beba or Biba, but they look like little flower petals. They're so cute, and I have some in the freezer, so I will post a little picture of what they look like. But yeah, you just do this, and then I'm gonna do this, you guys. I'll be right back, and I'm gonna show you the result. All right, you guys, so I'm back. I wound up grabbing a big spoon at the end because it was just easier, the last little bit to scoop and then just kind of pour. But once you do that, this is your final product. So I have 3 of these and a big Biba one because she can take 3 ounces of puree per sitting now. So you'll just want to do this. As you can see, it's not perfect, but you just put it into the perfect squares, and then you just put your little silicone cap on. You'll want to make sure when you do this too that your corners and all your edges are completely sealed, because if not, we found that you can lose a whole tray of puree because of freezer burn. So you'll want to make sure that your edges are tightly sealed, and then you just place it in the freezer. And then the next morning, I normally do this at night just because I let it sit overnight. So I get these prepared and I put them in our freezer. And this is what I do the next day. So yesterday we did pineapples. So I get a huge Ziploc bag and I just write what it is and then the date that I made it. So when you take out puree after, like, let's say I'm going to be eating all of these tomorrow, I just take out a cube and I put them in these little bitty jars. So these are the 2 ounce, and they come in a pack of 6 like this. They're the OXO. I got these from Bye Bye Baby, but I think you can get these at Target. But they're the 2 ounces, and then they also have another size, which is the 6 ounce. So you can fit like multiple cubes in here. But when she was 4 months old, she could only have the 2 ounce to start out with. And these are really simple. So normally I take out an entire row. So like when she was 4 months old, I take out like a whole row of apples, and then I do a whole row of sweet potato, because I don't like to do so many fruits and so many vegetables at a time. So you want to try and do a fruit and a vegetable if possible. And when you take these out from the date that you take them out of the freezer, because they unthaw at night, so like in the morning, I'm going to feed her some pineapple. So I'll put 3 cubes of pineapple in. These are only good for up to 72 hours. So you'll want to make sure that whatever you take out, you feed right away. After 72 hours, they're not good. And then while they're frozen, it's good for up to 3 months. So I will link everything below, and then I'm going to do apples next. All right, you guys, so we're back. Now we're doing apples. So everything's been rewashed because you're now switching to a fruit. Whether it was another fruit or another vegetable, if it's not the same of anything, then you'll want to wash everything. So everything's been rewashed. We use the Dapple bottle and dish soap. Almost time for us to get some more. But it's safe for babies, baby friendly, powered by plants, all that stuff, pediatrician, non-toxic, all that good stuff. So again, in the healthy realm, I don't think it's organic, but it's in the healthy realm. So for this, you'll need a peeler, and then you don't need this. This is an apple slicer tool, but I like to use this because it helped me save time and cut down, and you'll see why. Okay, so I have my organic wash again. This is really good for apples because a lot of people know that apples have wax on them. So bigger bowl this time, and you want to make sure that your apples don't have, I saw one in here that had like a little spot on it. I'm not comfortable using that for her, so we're not going to use that one. So you just want to look at your apples, and then you'll just want to, again, get them really good. And I like to take each apple and really massage in that veggie wash, just to really get that that wax off of it. So you'll do that. And you'll wash them off really good. And with the apples, sometimes you can like texturally feel the difference. And then you can see the water is again muggy. So that film just coming off, it's just amazing what that veggie wash can really get off. So then I'm going to take each apple again and just really make sure that that veggie wash is off, even though we're not going to use the apple peel. But I just like to, again, make sure they're super clean, and then just take the water out. Okay. So I'm just going to take apple by apple. You don't have to take the stem off, but I do. So you just want to start, of course, let me get all my apples in here. I'm going to put my shells or my peels in here. But however you peel is fine. I peel, let me just do it this way because it's easier. So I'm going to be right back. Let me peel all these and then I'll show you the next result. Alright you guys, so I peeled all the apples. I already have some ready in the basket. But you'll want to kind of hurry because the apples will start browning because they're oxidized. So you'll peel your apple and then you'll take your slicer tool, just put it right in the middle of the core. And then, as you see, it takes the piece out. So it literally takes the core out and it creates these perfect slices for you. And you'll just put them in your steamer basket. I've already put the water at the bottom. And so now I'm going to put my cap on and I'm going to steam these for about 7 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll puree them. Alright you guys, so the apples are done. Again, make sure you're super safe. Taking it off. You can see all the steam. And some fruits or vegetables let out more steam than others. So again, make sure you're super careful. So now you have your apples. Again, making more bottles because the Brussels sprouts use more milk. So again, some fruits or vegetables will use more milk than others. Apples are normally very juicy, so you don't need as much milk. I'm going to put my milk in the base. And this is formula because I'm not breastfeeding. And they're super soft, like you can see. And they're really hard. I put them in for 6 minutes, but if they're still really hard, put them in for another 2 to 3, and it should soften them. Again, try not to pick them up with your hands because they're super hot, you guys. And sometimes too, it's fun like when you make the food because you can just take a few for yourself. And as you can see, they're so hot, they're piping. Alright guys, so just gonna want to take it. For a few minutes or a few extra seconds, just so I like to make sure, like I said, it's thoroughly cooked through or pureed through. As you can see, it literally looks like applesauce. It is going to smoke again because it's hot from the steamer, plus the blender itself makes heat, so it looks just like applesauce. So this is technically homemade applesauce, but yeah, you can test it if you want. I like to try her foods just to see how it comes out because if I can't eat it or if I wouldn't eat it, I wouldn't give it to her. So yeah, as you can see, the consistency is very different than the Brussels sprouts because it's more water based. So this one is going to be really easy to pour, as you can see. So I literally will just start here and it's just literally going to go. And then I'm just going to go back through once I finish with their spoon. Super easy to pour. And I'm literally just gonna take her spoon and create the perfect little square pockets that I want. Boom. And you want to try not to overfill the pockets, you guys, because when you put the top on, it will kind of create a little spillage. So you kind of want the pockets to just be right under full, but not completely all of the way. And you want to make sure that you see the lines as well. And so I have more room, so I have another bag of apples that I'm going to make, and that'll fill up the rest, and then this will go in the freezer. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to follow me on social media, like, subscribe, and comment below. And again, I'll be back for another video. Love you guys.